This TikToker just walked into a stranger's apartment, filmed herself digging through his stuff, posted it online like it was some home tour, but the problem is, the guy who lived there passed away 2 years ago. Yeah, welcome back to another episode of What Are People Thinking With? Because this is hands down one of the most disrespectful things I've seen for some social media attention. So this one's been going viral for the last week or so, and honestly, this is one of those stories where the video kind of speaks for itself, but there's more going on beneath everything, because it's not just like, oh, it's just some girl doing something weird for views. So meet Kylie Skeffington, who also goes by Kylie Skeff. She's a lifestyle TikToker based in New York City, but she's originally from Rhode Island. And the only social media that I found that wasn't deleted currently is her, is it called Visco? VSCO? I never had one of those. I think it's called Visco. To be clear, Kylie isn't some like famous TikToker, so no, this isn't some like huge scandal revolving a household name. She was a pretty ordinary person doing something so stupid that it just went extremely viral. So according to Kylie's video, she was at her friend's apartment building in New York, and apparently the neighbor next door to her friend had passed away roughly 2 years ago, but the apartment had never been cleaned out since. So instead of going, oh wow, that's sad and eerie, let's move on with our night or whatever, she decided to, in her words, push the door open and go inside and explore it while filming.
I live in New York City. I went over to my friend's apartment last night. Her neighbor died about 2 years ago, and the apartment has not been cleaned out yet, so we decided to push open the door last night.
1990.
Oh!
Jets ain't done. They awful. The Jets will never be good in 1990, and in 2026,
They're
they will
awful.
never be good.
Who does stuff like that? But also, pushing the door open is definitely a way of saying breaking in, but okay. So the video was posted with the text on screen, exploring an apartment that's been untouched for years. And yeah, it went viral, just maybe not in the way that she was hoping for. And at one point, the three dig up an old newspaper dated all the way back to 1990. And they're also holding a newspaper in the intro, but I don't know if it's the same newspaper or not. But the video itself is 24 seconds long, and once the thing started making its rounds, it did not really go the way that Kylie probably expected, because the reaction was pretty much instant and universal disgust. Because I feel like the normal reaction here is, why would you ever break into someone's apartment, let alone break into someone's apartment who isn't there to consent? Like, if you really wanted to rummage through the old stuff of someone who's not alive anymore, just go to an estate sale. But obviously, comments started piling up, calling it disrespectful, invasive, and just flat out wrong, which it was. One person wrote that it felt like watching someone similar to grave robbing, and another one pointed out that it could literally be an active crime scene where everything needs to remain untouched in case an investigator needs to examine the apartment for evidence. Who knows? Hard to tell. What we do know is, wow, that was extremely disrespectful. And as it turns out, the neighbor who passed away, his name was Jim. We know that because before Kylie deleted her account, she left a comment on the original video responding to people calling her out, essentially saying something along the lines of, Jim's spirit will live on. So not only did all this happen, but she's also, I guess, kind of cracking jokes about the guy's name while people are telling her point blank that, hey, this is both disrespectful and illegal. And the backlash also didn't stay contained to just comments under the original post, because it spread pretty quickly through duets, stitches, and reaction videos from other creators about all this stuff. And other people downloaded all the clips and re-uploaded them because she ended up wiping her account. And that's a key detail, because even after Kylie's page went dark, the footage was already saved and was reposted across dozens of accounts. And that's also kind of why when you upload stuff on the internet, you can't just like delete it and pretend it didn't happen, because, you know, when you post stuff on the internet, for the most part, it's there pretty much forever. And you also had some other bigger creators weighing in as well, like Dottie Snacks. He stitched the video and basically went off, questioning why she'd even need to ask her followers whether something like this was illegal in the first place. But he also brought up that legally speaking, this kind of situation usually falls under probate law, basically the rules around who gets to handle a deceased person's stuff, which in New York, that could apparently take anywhere from 9 to 18 months for all that to be done. So she could have very well jumped in there before all of that was finished.
You are a grown adult who does social media for a living, and you need to ask your followers if it's illegal to do this. And by the way, this place might not even be abandoned, but God forbid somebody who just moved here do 2 minutes of research before turning this woman's home into a treasure hunt.
So that's kind of crazy. You have 3 people involved here, and no one stopped and went, huh, wait a minute, maybe we shouldn't break into this guy's apartment. And the second question should be, wait a minute, maybe you shouldn't film us breaking into this dude's apartment. And then, of course, the third one should be like, wait a minute, maybe we shouldn't upload that so the whole internet can see it. I don't know, apparently none of that happened because now we've seen this video. But I guess going back to the probate point, it just kind of makes things even worse because again, this wasn't some like abandoned house. No, this was a perfectly active building people lived in. So whether the apartment is tied up in probate court or whether the family kept paying rent or a mortgage because, you know, they didn't want to clear out the place yet, or whether years of utilities have already been paid for, I don't know. We don't have the answers for this. And honestly, it's none of our business, just like it's none of their business that they broke into that apartment. And honestly, this isn't even the first time we've seen this kind of story play out. You know, creators, they just, I guess, have a thing for walking into places they shouldn't be in. Because I mean, just this last year, we covered Tom ASMR, who traveled to Fukushima, where among other locations, he entered a house that appeared to have been unoccupied for quite some time, and he filmed an ASMR video inside. But yeah, I guess it doesn't matter to certain creators. They'll just happily break into other people's stuff if it makes interesting content. But here's where things get a little more complicated, because as much backlash as the video was getting, whether Kylie technically broke any laws, that's still unclear technically, because we don't know for certain who currently controls that apartment. We don't know if it's still tied up with a deceased person estate, if a landlord had regained control of it, or if some family member still has legal rights to what's inside. But if Kylie did enter without permission from whoever actually has the authority of the space right now, that could be considered trespassing. But I'm just kind of sitting here like, okay, trespassing or not, I mean, it's just disrespectful to do for content. And also just like on the topic of the belongings themselves, just because someone passes away doesn't mean their stuff becomes fair game for whoever wanders into their apartment first. Like, this is just messed up. Also, legally, that stuff usually becomes a part of their estate, and it's supposed to be handled by their family or someone who is in control of it. But it's currently unclear if Kylie and them actually took anything else out of the apartment other than that newspaper, because a lot of people are commenting saying they stole from it, but I don't know. But again, on the other hand, Kylie's own caption on the video literally says, this is illegal. So I mean, at a minimum, she probably had a little bit of an idea that she shouldn't be doing this, but I guess she didn't care too much. But regardless, I mean, apparently the backlash got so big that she ended up reacting and deleting all of her social media accounts. And then it kind of followed her because apparently she works for some jewelry company and a bunch of people found that out, so they started blowing up the comments of the jewelry company. And I don't condone that whatsoever. I mean, that's just kind of stupid, taking it out on the jewelry company. It's not their fault they hired some tone-deaf person. But hey, who knows? Maybe it works in their favor. Maybe this gave it quite the algorithm boost. But regardless, as for the video, there's been no public statement from Kylie addressing what happened beyond that. There's been no confirmation of any police report being filed, and no word from Jim's family about whether they're planning on taking any kind of action here. So at the end of the day, this is just one of those moments of like, oh wow, yeah, that was really disrespectful. And then the internet reacted, and then she wiped all of her accounts. So now we're just kind of sitting here like, yeah, okay, cool. Why would you do that to yourself? So if we do get an update here, I'll probably make an update video. But other than that, if you're new here, feel free to subscribe, drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.